Okay, yeah. So this is immediately after my last video, and I titled this video "She Was Always This Mess." Meaning, let's say, okay, like most women, by the time they hit 30, 35, they're usually a complete mess. If they're single and they're not in a long term relationship, they're usually a complete mess. A lot of them are trying to hold together, but the parts are fault. Like the cracks are starting to show. Um, with that being said, you see, when see women, girls, women get away with a lot when they're younger, and it's just because of what I went over in my last video. They get away with a lot when they're younger because they were always wanted simply because of what they were. Even if they were ugly and fat, whatever, somebody was still trying to fuck them. You see, so they always had that safety net of self-esteem that somebody wanted them. Even if they don't choose to acknowledge it, they know it. They know that factor is always there. So, see, men, we never had that. Like we don't get that privilege in life. But see, the thing is, especially if they're cute, the problem. See, where women always fail is the long term goals of anything. See, women are great at winning in the first 5 minutes, but it's for the next hour is where they can't. They usually horrifically fail miserably, and they need a man to come fix it. Um, see, a lot of them, especially if they're cute, they can hold together. See, okay, a woman's entire game in the world is being a mirage or an illusion. Okay, this is what gets them over so well, especially if they're cute, until they're about 25, 26. See, when they're younger, these bills haven't had enough time to really slap them in the face too hard. Um, they really don't have to worry about proper dieting yet. If they got if they're especially if they're cute, they're eating and drinking whatever they feel like. They're smoking whatever they feel like. They're doing they probably getting a little dabbling in drugs. They're running around having sex with every guy they can find. You see, they're entitled to be these princesses in these times of life. You see, because you haven't seen it long. They haven't been on the world long enough to truly mess up yet and have it be seen to the immediate public. And the same thing, and I say the same thing with a lot of guys. Because I know some guys personally, it was pretty much the same thing. Like when pretty much before 25, they weren't. A lot of them weren't alive long enough to truly mess up very bad yet, to where it's like clear, where you can point and say they're fucked up. Like now, the only thing they could really do where things start getting bad, I say, and see, women can even get by with this much better than men, to where they're like, you could point at this guy and say, he's fucked up when they start having kids or at a younger age. See, women, they can just live with mommy and daddy and then, still just put on something clean and take a shower and she's still fuckable. Whereas like, I remember there's a lot of guys from my high school who, they were the cool guys in high school. And by the time they hit 22, they are just worn down, beaten down, working any job they can find to pay this child support off. And they're fucked up. So like both sides definitely do go through it. But for the sake of this channel and the topics, I'm focusing more on women. You see, so like, women get, especially if she's just, physically healthy, relatively skinny or a little thick, and takes a shower, she'll get by, especially in America, because America just has lower quality women on average in general anyway. But see, after 25 is when, that mess that she really was, it becomes harder to dress it up, to make it look presentable, because for multiple reasons. On her end, most women just have problems with their weight. They just, and a lot of times it's not even like difficult problems, but see, like I said, this goes back to like a woman's culture growing up. You see, they never had to think about anything. You see, so by the time they start hitting 26, 27, 20, 29, well, see, they never had to actually put thought into diet. You see, they were eating and drinking whatever they felt like. Whatever. McDonald's, Burger King, any fast food junk they could find, because their natural genetics were still fighting the bullshit they were putting in their body. But when they're 29, 30, they can't fight it anymore. You know, their bodies literally just say, fuck it, I'm done. Put in McDonald's in me, I'm not fighting anymore. Your belly's just gonna hang out, bitch. And that's what happens. And next thing you know, like I've known women who they were hot at 18, 19, 20. Now at 30, 32, 33, they put on pants. And now the pants is they're trying to cover, they're pulling the pants over the gut. So that the gut is hanging out in the crotch area of the pants. It just looks horrible. But like I said, they see what they become. What a woman becomes at 30, 31, 32, especially if she's single, that's what she was the whole time. That's what she was the whole time. You see, as guys, we don't pay attention to logic until usually until we get a little older. So let's say, like, I went over this in another video, choosing a woman, like, as a spouse and to start a family with. See, now I'm far more educated on the inside of it than what I was 5 years ago. You know, when I was married, 3 years ago, 5 years ago when I was married. Now I know what to look for. See, now I know when I look at a woman, okay, what did her parents do? It's more specifically, what did her mother do? Okay. And usually from what I've seen out of this, women are like most things in a woman's nature. Women usually go to extremes. And when you look at their mother, it's usually an extreme of the mother. Either they follow exactly in the mother's footsteps or they go in a completely different direction as the mother. Okay. That's what I've seen in my history of it. So watch what her mother did with men. Did her mother keep a revolving door of men, or did she, sit up with one man? You know, if she kept a revolving door of men, it gives you a lot of insight on what she's probably going to be like. Look at what her family and friends do. Do they have babies by different men and keep revolving doors of men coming in? Like as birds of a feather flock together. You see, these are things I didn't look at before I turned 30. And see, now I know. See, by the time women hit 30, she was always doing this. You see, it was just covered up because either one, as a younger guy, you just didn't look at it like me. You just didn't care to look at it. Or two, she was really great at hiding it. And there are women who are great at hiding it. I'm thinking of one girl right now, and she was a good looking black girl, which I don't date a lot of black women because it's just the reality. A lot of black women they either have horrible attitudes, or they're very ugly, or they have terrible hygiene. So it's very rarely I find a black woman attractive. I fell in love with one black girl. She passed away at 22 from a heart attack. And the other black girl I'm thinking of, I never actually dated her because I was in high school with her, and she was just out of my league. And she's a single mother. She's a single mother. I mean, not because the guy died, but because, it's what she was. She was out of my league in high school. And it's just the natural chemistry. She went after the higher guy who could get 3 more of her next week. And then, he bounced on her and left her as a single mother. Now she's a police officer or something like that. Probably, getting fucked by random cops. It means nothing. But like I said, okay, but to go back in on this black girl, like I was crazy about her in high school. Oh my God, I was crazy about her. Like if I could just get a glimpse of her in high school, just see her smile, I was crazy about her. And now, like I said, at 30, I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't even want to be. If I heard she was in a room, I'd have no interest in going in that room because we're both 33 now, and she's a single mother. And no, just nothing. But like I said, but the brutal reality is to realize this woman was always like this. You see, I just didn't see it. Now looking back, I can see the signals and the signs. I can see it clearly now. That, just like I said, okay, because women, everything's about status with women. Women love status. Women love value, and men value love. Now I can see it clear as day now. Like how, when a woman looks that good, she's not hanging out with average women. She's not hanging out with the average girls around her. Like women will separate themselves and then try to infiltrate the highest quality men they could find. They do it like they naturally do it. They try to blame men for forcing this on them. Men don't have to do any of this. Women will do it themselves. But yeah, looking back, she was always this mess. I would say her name, but I don't know. I just feel weird about saying her name. But she was always this mess. So like, when you hit 30, man, or if you already are 30 and you're seeing women like this, look, this woman was old. Now, sometimes it can work out. For instance, there was a movie where this happened, but this happens in real life a lot too. I think, what was that? Kingsman. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Kingsman, but in the movie Kingsman, the little Eminem type dude, who's like the main character of the movie, his mother was married to a Kingsman, which is like pretty much like a James Bond type of dude, right? And he had great manners. He was well spoken, clearly well educated, well dressed individual. Well, he ended up dying, and she ended up taking up with some bar loser guy, loser drunk dude from the bar. See, and this is where it can be covered up, because see, that woman was this the whole time. But see, the reality of how it played out was, see, this woman was a strict follower the whole time. You see, none of the lifestyle that the woman had anything to do with her. It was all the man she was following. You see, so this woman in this scenario is doing the same thing. It's just sometimes it just looks better or worse depending on the man she ends up following, type of thing. And with that being said, this is another reason why women they just lose after 25. Like they just lose. There is no win unless they got within a long-term relationship or married before, in those prime years with a decent man, and then they have kids and they raise the kids. If they're not doing that, I don't care how great she's dressing up her life. I don't care how good she is in makeup, how great she is in dressing, how loving and caring she is. She's a defective product. Okay, that it just is what it is. Because no matter what path you take to get in there, okay, I say at best she's on probation when she walks through the front door, just being what she is. Okay, because her mentality is going to be jaded and screwed and messed up. She'll lost all these feminine qualities. She's too independent, so there's no room for any man in her life. And the men that she wants can go out and get 40 more of her. So she can't find any man. She can't find anything that she would genuinely. Once they hit over 30, and the mess that they were always, but if they hit over 30 and there's still this mess, they are doomed for failure, because there is no happy ending, because the guy that she wants, well, he's going to be a high quality guy. So since he's a high quality guy, he can get 15 more of her by next week. So he's not going to put any value in this old thing. And then all the guys who would value her, she doesn't want to go step back down the ladder. So so these women, especially if they look good, which there's a lot of them who do, all these newscasters and television hosts, females, look, they're stuck in this inevitable end of never being happy ever again, because they're always stuck in this mess. Post 25 is the guys who want me will just use me, along with the other 10 women that are like me. So I can't be happy with this guy. And the guys beneath me, well, it's a women's mentality. They're just beneath her. So she can't find any happy place, so she is either just stay single, have cats, drink wine, work some dead end job until she just dies, or settle, or, knock her self-esteem down a few notches and get with the guy who actually care about her and have kids with him, but she'll resent him for the rest of her life, or get lucky and get impregnated by a more successful guy, but knows that she's going to get cheated on by him because he's a successful dude. He's a valuable guy, so other women are going to want him, and so she'll always have to deal. So it never ends. And see, this is where situations, I think it was Jeff Bezos' wife. See. And I'm going to go into, and I don't know much about this, but I'll go into the intricacies of it. And I went to this about a video with Kevin Hart. When Kevin Hart's wife wanted to get, a woman pretty long story short, a woman wants to get a man's money. That's just the reality of the dynamics. Every woman who says she doesn't is lying, okay? Or she's just not in the mood to do it at that point in time. This is what they all want, okay? See, what Jeff Bezos' wife, if she's smart, she already knows this, but a lot of them aren't, so she probably thinks this. You see, she's thinking that, okay, she's just an older woman with a successful man. So she fell into everything that I stated before. It's either she hooks up with a successful man who can go out and get better quality women than her, so she's going to be mad, or this woman can leave the successful man and get with a lesser successful man, and she's going to be mad because she's with a lower successful man, and she had better. But see, now what dumb bitches don't realize is, let's say some of them do get lucky and they get a kid with a rich guy, right? With the Jeff Bezos. Or let's even say like a lesser rich guy like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's not, a super rich guy. He's a rich guy, but he's not super rich. But let's say they get with these guys, right? So the Jeff Bezos' wife, she separates from him. I think she got like 70 million or 70 billion or some shit like that. It's a lot of money. See, now where dumb bitches' brains don't calculate properly is this. You see, she's thinking because she left him and got that money that she is now in the same league of fucking other men who make the same amount of money. It doesn't work like, see, these men, that pussy ain't worth $70 billion. All right, no pussy really is, but this pussy is not worth any extra work. You old now, bitch. It's over. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, see, these women, they end up in this vortex of just sadness because there is no ultimate way out. See, because their happiness was pretty much up to age 25. That was when they had all they could literally jump tax brackets simply because they walked in a room wearing a certain dress. They could run up tax. They could go from making $30,000 to $120,000 just by talking to the right guy because she had on the right dress and the guy wanted to fuck her. See, those are the years they can do that. After that, they've got. I think Patrice O'Neal. He was talking to some older woman, and he was sort of like, "Look, you are old. The only way you gonna keep a man pretty much post 30. Okay." From my experiences, the only way a woman post 30 is going to keep a man around are these few scenarios. One, the guy needs a visa to stay in the country. Okay, some legal shit like that, and even that's not going to last long. But she stands a better chance with that than a regular guy on the street. Okay, two, the only way she'll keep a man, she'll have to deduce her self-esteem and go with a lesser quality man that she's used to getting, which that kills them. Usually it takes 10 years for them to finally reach that point. Three, she's going to have to do the most craziest sexual shit on the planet to keep a man interested in her. The days of her just bending over and taking dick, the days of her just laying down with pretty long hair, those days are done, okay? Once you hit over 30, you've got to be doing some crazy shit to keep a man's attention. I mean, you've really got to do some like whatever his imagination can come up with. You got to be down for it, type of thing, to gain attention. Anywhere near, you're never gonna get the same amount. They will never get the same amount of attention that they were getting when they were 22. They will just never get that ever again. But if they will ever want a man to successfully stay around, it's usually got to be one of those things. A guy with low self-esteem, aka a guy pretty much lesser value than her. A guy with low self-esteem. A guy who needs like a work visa or some tax bracket, screwing the system type of thing. Or she's got to do some crazy sexual shit. If she's not doing one of those three things, there is no other. I mean, there are anomalies. Don't get me wrong. There are anomalies. But for the most part, no. It's one of those. Beta bitch, legal, or she's got to do some crazy sexual stuff. And other than that, anything other than that, you will be better off just buying a hooker. Because there's a whole lot of guys out there right now dealing with these messes that this video is labeled after. They're dealing with these messes because there's conscious is working at them. Because there's a ton of men out there right now who are spending more money every month on this mess that's living at home with them, paying the mortgage, the food, the car notes. He's spending 10 times more on this thing than he would do just buying a hooker and then just kicking the hooker out when he's done and doing whatever he wants to do. But like I said, see a lot of guys, they get attached, their conscience starts working at them, and so they just, you know, they don't really want to do anything, you know, they don't want to initiate the breakup, so they just deal with it. But a lot of y'all's wives out there are costing you more than hookers would cost you, and I guarantee you're not having anywhere near the amount of fun with this wife that you would be this hooker. Now, if you just want a companion, that's different. Even then, I'd say, man, look, once it gets to that point, like no, it's just not worth it for me, personally.